Hello, welcome to the G.I. Joe New News Classified Reviews. My name is David T. Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave 817. If you would like to see more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button for future videos. Thank you and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. I am David Allen, or if you'd like, Super Dave. We are here to talk about CoverGirl, vintage retro package CoverGirl, and we have a whole lot more to discuss on today's episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. So first, happy G.I. Joe Day, a day after. Happy G.I. Joe Day, the day after. I hope you guys all were able to see all the cool renders and information that came out yesterday. It was quite an exciting day for me, and we're going to go over all that and more today in our episode. So first off, let's get into this review, and I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for joining me tonight. This is going to be another tag team effort. First, we're going to do my show, and then you can go back and watch Punk with Toys after this at 9 o'clock sharp. All right. So CoverGirl is an interesting character. So here's a beautiful piece of artwork. I must say, I like that artwork. I like the fact that they gave her a card back that she never had when she was a vintage character, because she came with the Wolverine, and she wasn't in a figure, single finger package. So this is a really cool piece of artwork. I do like it a lot. It definitely looks like it's been like enhanced or something like that. I don't know if it's AI or what, but it definitely looks like it's enhanced in some way. So it's unique, but it is what it is. So this is going to be more of a retro version of her. So it makes sense that she would be in a retro card back scenario. And this time we're going to cover her in all her aspects and do a deep dive into her. We're going to showcase her first version, her mainline version. We're going to talk about the Wolverine, and we're going to have a lot of other things to talk about with her in just one moment. Let's see. Terrence Child just found out today that there is a female Crimson Guard. Do you have her? I've ordered her. You didn't know that? I thought I mentioned that to you in several of the episodes when you asked me about that. Good morning or good evening. Good morning, New York Knights 1974. Thanks for joining us. And Terrence Childs, thanks for joining us. No, that was pre-orderable back in November. I think we got a hint of it earlier than that, and then you could pre-order it, and a lot of people are starting to get theirs now, Terrence Child, so you should be able to get them fairly soon in stores, because I think people are starting to get them right now. I hope mine will be shipped out soon. All right, so then let's get into the history of CoverGirl. First off, we're going to go to Dan Klingesmith's series of guides, and that is number 9, volume 9. It's morning somewhere in the world. You're right, it is. New York Knights, that's funny. So this is Creating G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero by Dan Klingesmith Jr., number volume 9. And we are going to talk about CoverGirl. And here's some renders of her, some ideations, some turnarounds, some head sculpts, and so on and so forth. Now, I covered a little bit of this information already when we covered the first CoverGirl, but I'm going to go into it a little bit more in this one. Let's see. What's up, Super Dave? 610 Yojo Daddy. At my boys' basketball game. Won't be able to comment much. Hey, that's fine. Focus on your boys. It's got to be cold in there, I bet. So make sure you're warm and you're bundled up. But you can always watch this in the replay crew, because it's going to be a fairly long episode. We're covering all the stuff from yesterday for G.I. Joe Day. So we got a lot to cover. All right, so CoverGirl, alternate names, Hurricane Helga, which I never really cared for Hurricane Helga that much. Year release 1983, designed by Ron Rudat. Again, Ron Rudat designed most figures from 82 to 87, with the exception of a handful. Mark Pennington started at 87. And some of the vehicle drivers. But this is a vehicle driver he did design. Very interesting. Wearing pilot overalls and an A2 jacket, CoverGirl came packed with the Wolverine. Loosely based on Sigourney Weaver, Ron gave her a high-powered pistol and advanced communication device on her leg to communicate to the Joes about what was occurring on the battlefield. And then there's a couple of battlefield little blurbs here I want to cover. CoverGirl's original dossier listed her name as Ariana S. Krieger. While editing Larry's dossier, Kurt Bazzigan changed her first name to Courtney after his daughter. Interesting. Kirk also changed her birthplace from Chicago, Illinois to Peoria, Illinois, which is where his wife was raised and they were married. Very interesting. Seems like Kurt Bazzigan had a lot to do with a lot of these figures back in the day, in the 80s. He got Law and Order to look like him. He had Joseph Colton was named after his son, and now Courtney Krieger is named after his daughter and where his wife was born. Interesting. In the original dossier, Larry wrote Girl started modeling career at age 17, but grew disillusioned with the work and the people it attracted. When stated in CoverGirl's personality profile that she was compelled to learn and master unfeminine disciplines, Larry originally stated that in the end, the self-assurance this provided only makes her more alluring and complements her already stunning good looks, which with a modeling a maddening, charismatic attraction that reduces most men to stuttering imbeciles. So that's very interesting for CoverGirl. That adds a little bit of a layer to CoverGirl and her personality. All right, so then we're going to go into the artwork for the package. And there's CoverGirl there on the left with the Wolverine in the middle, and she was the pilot or driver, however you would like to call it, of the Wolverine. And then she appeared in issue 16 of A Real American Hero by Marvel Comics in the 80s, written by Larry Hama. So a lot of Joes started to appear the second year, G.I. Joe's, Destro, and a bunch of those guys in 83. Let's see. Dunk on them, yo, Joe Daddy. Yeah, Will R, thank you for joining us. Will R, beautiful artwork book. I need that. Yeah, those are really nice books. I don't know if Carson, so there, I should have said this when I did this, but this is volume 1982 to 1983, Collecting the Art of G.I. Joe by R. Carson Metaxas and 3D Joes. I don't know if he sold out of all the single edition books, but I know he sold out of the omnibus now, so you won't be able to get that. But you can go to the website, the 3D Joe's website, and see if he has any of the single versions left. Maybe people were selling their single versions since they got the omnibus. There's a there. Will R. All right, so like I said, they came out with the original CoverGirl, a more updated classified version, but she definitely looks more retro in this version to me, I think, in my opinion. And she's a lot tougher with the leather jacket and everything. So if you looked at her vintage figure, she looks a lot like this. Whereas the retro one is more like the Sunbow animated. That's more like the Sunbow animated, where she first appeared in the first miniseries. I believe it was the Mass Device 5-part miniseries. I saw that on Nickelodeon when I was young, the very first time. So there's two different versions. So the first classified figure is based off of her vintage figure and updated slightly for the classified line. And now the retro package is the Sunbow aesthetic of CoverGirl. So then we also have her Wolverine, her vehicle that she came with, which I think is a really cool vehicle. Someone just did a really nice 3D printed classified scale version of this that I hope someday classified can figure out a way to do a uniform tank with all those turrets. I'm for that for a classified HasLab. Uh, hey, Paul Morales. Hello, everybody. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. So let's get into CoverGirl off the top here because we got a lot of other stuff to cover. But all my regulars know that I don't always advertise when I'm talking about certain things because I don't want people that are not familiar with this to join us. I want all our regulars to join and be a part of the conversation and be a part of this channel because you guys have already been here and been supporting the channel. All right, so first we have her stand, Stars and Stripes there. Put that over there. And then we have her loadout there with all of her gear and her extra head. So we're going to put that over there. We're going to go into her file card a little bit. So Paul Ross has said hello to everybody. So here's the file card. So you're going to know who the next batch of figures are going to be because there's CoverGirl and you know the Televiper and the infamous Flint is after that. But let's read her card and see if it's different than what they had and they said it in Dan Klingsmith's book. Let's see, it says Krieger Courtney A, so that's the new name. Royal Armored Fighting Vehicle Driver, primary specialty armor, secondary specialty AFV Mechanics, birthplace Peoria, Illinois. So they did keep that new birthplace on there. Kurt Bazigian's wife's home. CoverGirl was a high fashion model before growing disillusioned and enlisting to put new direction in her life. Her phenomenal mechanical repair and driving skills reduce most people to stuttering fools, even more so than her good looks. So they rearranged that file card slightly for this file card. What's up, everybody? What's up, Paul? So there you go. That's her file card. And then we have the legal gobbledygook right there. Indicia. Put that down there. And then we will get her out of her package. First off, we're going to take this figure out. Now, there have been several CoverGirls in this version. I should have pulled out the Super 7 one. I don't have it handy. But Super 7 finally did this version of CoverGirl. People wanted the vintage Sunbow-esque CoverGirl. So Super 7 did it action figure. And then they also did it as a Reaction Plus figure. And there she is. So then now Hasbro has done her. So I'm surprised that they didn't make this part of the Mass Device line as a sub thing and put that on her package because this is basically the Mass Device CoverGirl. So I don't understand why they didn't do that. But I do like this. This is completely different. She's got long, beautiful, long blonde hair. She's got this green jumpsuit with the brown guards on her boots and black boots. She's got a holster on her right thigh, on her belt, her secondary belt there with that silver buckle there, that little silver buckle. She's got her shirt buttoned down so her cleavage is exposed a little bit, so that drooling aspect that these guys have for her, there you go, that's probably the reason. And then it says AFV on the tampo right there on her right pouch of her arm, right arm. And then she has on her left arm E4 and Krieger Krieger something on that tampo as well. E4 Krieger Courtney, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. But this one, apparently a lot of people don't like the face print. What do you guys think? Do you guys think her face print is good on this figure? I think it's pretty good. I think it represents the character. Has a nice smile, has beautiful eyes, eyebrows. I don't know. I don't see any problems with it. I like the collars. They got the zippers colored with a little bit of deco there. But what do you guys think? Do you think her face is bad or good? I don't know. I think she looks good to me. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's also a little loop on the back of her secondary belt there, and then there's another little gray pouch there. So there's not a lot of decos on this, but the deco hits that they have given her really do help the figure stand out for what it is. She is a mechanic after all, and she's got the vest on to prove that with the jacket. See, I like that face print. Might be cartoon for some, but I like it. Very good, Hillsme UK 7MQ. You're a new person in the chat. Thanks for joining us today. She's beautiful, Will R. Thank you. Come to me, Sydney Sweeney. Funny. If you're a new person in the chat, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification so you can find our other videos. We typically go in the mornings, except I'm doing Monday evenings as a tag team with Punk with Toys. So he'll be coming on after this. Please, thank you. All right, so then she comes with another head. And this is an interesting head that I like because it's got a ball cap on it. And it's got like a ponytail. Her hair is like a ponytail, blonde, all tied up when she's doing some mechanic work. And I think that head's just as good. She's not smiling. She's serious in that head sculpt there. She looks a little bit more stern. And it's on there, the Pitts Garage. So that's the G.I. Joe Pit. I'm thinking I might change her head and put this hatted version on. What do you guys think? You think we should put the head with the hat on? I think I'm going to do that. I think she looks cooler like that. And it stands out more for this version. There. So what do you think? You think that's better? I think it is. I think it really represents this version better. And, you know, we still have the other one. We still have the other head. We have the other hair piece. So you can mix and match. I think that's really cool that they did that for a vintage packaged character. She definitely looks more stern. All right, so let's get into some of these accessories. So she has the same shotgun that she came with on the previous mainline version, right? Except it's a little bit deco different. It has that army drab, has silver, has black. It looks like more of a cartoon-esque weapon, similar to the Sunbow weapons. So they did change that slightly. Then she comes with a sledgehammer, which we just got this sledgehammer with somebody else recently. I'm trying to remember who we got it with, but oh, it was the firefighter. The firefighter had that, and there's a little orange deco on the handle and black as well. Looks pretty good. And then she comes with a wrench, a little blue wrench. It has a little black deco on the end there. There. And then she has her revolver that will probably go in that holster. There's her little revolver. Nice detail there. And then she comes with 2 fists. 2 alternate hand fists. Then that's it for her accessories. She has 2 little fists there. So as far as her articulation points, she's got most of the normal articulation points. She's got the butterflied shoulders. She's got the double pin knees and double pinned elbows. She's got the foot rocker. She's got the secondary ankle, which they don't usually give that to females, but they gave it to this one. She got the thigh and the calf articulation. She's got the leg and crotch articulation. She has a secondary ab crunch and the head articulation. She's got the wrist articulation and a little bit of the secondary bendy wrist articulation. So she's got everything except for the secondary wrist articulation, which they only give that to certain figures. It's only been on maybe 6 figures, to my knowledge, since we've been doing this series. And this is the 22nd vintage retro package. Gunpowder has joined the chat. Hello, Gunpowder. What's good, all y'all? Let's see, everybody saying hello. The accessories would have been the Wolverine. Yep, you're right. You're right. I have her, my 11-year-old said her face is creepy realistic. Well, that's good. I think we want them more realistic, right? We don't want them to be not realistic, kind of like that Falcon figure. But there has been a lot of flack over her, so I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. So let's see. We're going to put a revolver in her holster first. Get her arm out of the way. There. All right, so that's in there. Then we're going to take that little loop. We're going to put that wrench in the little loop there. There. So there you go. There's the revolver and there's the wrench in the loop there. I do like this jumpsuit. I think she could almost sit in right with the OG-13 figures with this green jumpsuit. It's army drab, and most of the figures from the OG-13 are army drab. That's saying a lot. He buys the NECA and SH figure arts. Oh, well, those are very high detailed figures. So he must like really detailed, realistic stuff. So that's good. I'm very happy to hear that. That goes against a lot of the other folks out there. Hello. Hi, Paul. All right. So then we're going to give her hammer. I'm going to try to switch her out. I'm going to make her more mechanics looking. So that's why I gave her that other hat and head, because I wanted her to be more looking like a mechanic in this instead. And I'm thinking I'm going to take one of her hands off and I'm going to give her one of her fists instead. So she'll look much different than the other one. So she'll have a fist on and she'll have the hammer, and she'll look tougher. So when you look at these two, you'll be able to tell they're totally different versions of this kind of the same character, which I think they're both very unique. It's one of those rare occurrences where they both stand out on their own, and I like that a lot. I like it when, if they do something, I want it to be different enough where it doesn't copy the other one that much. And this cover girl is excellent as far as not copying. She's a lot different than the other one. What do you guys think? Do you think they both stand out as unique in their own ways? Best face sculpt in the line. Wow. That's saying a lot. I'm surprised. 610 Joe Daddy, you saying that. That's a surprise. But I do think that they both are unique and they both have their own place. So I'm hoping at some point we may get my wish and we can get that HasLab tank with all those turrets, because I don't see any other way to do that. People are not going to buy 10 tanks. If you can buy a HasLab that comes with 4 different turrets that you can switch with the paneling for each different tank, I think that's the way to go, because we will have all the drivers. Give us like Thunder, give us Heavy Metal, give us another Steeler, give us Toll Booth. You can get 4 drivers out of that. Damn straight, the Wolverine was the accessory. We needed the accessory we deserved. Yep. Will R, we definitely do need that. Yeah, lots of good differences, but still holding true to the character. Yeah, I think so. I agree with you on that. Hiltz, try to say your name right. Hiltzme UK 7MQ. Yeah, it's hyper realistic is that thing. Hello, everybody. Dude Stuff. Hey, how are you this evening? Thanks for joining us, Dude Stuff. Nice to have you. That's a great idea, Dave, but Ramen beat them to it. Yeah, I know, but a lot of people are beating Classified to certain things, right? But that doesn't stop them from doing it. Like the Ostriker. We still got an Ostriker. We're still probably going to get an Eagle Hawk of some sort. And I think we'll get a Fang of some sort. So I still think we can get a tank. It's just a matter of using the Classified aesthetics and the way that Classified does things. It has to be G.I. Joe. Let's see. Nope, best face sculpt in the line was Falcon. He had that 1,000-yard stare. He definitely had the 1,000-yard stare, New York Knights, but I think you're going to be in the minority on that one, unfortunately. Pretty good. Best face sculpt, Will R. Yep. Sorry you can just say hi, it's me. Who's me? Okay. I'll say it's you. All right. So let's see. We have we got a lot of new information. So like I said at the beginning of this episode, happy G.I. Joe Day. We got a lot of new renders. We got a lot of new information on things that was speculating that we had a good feeling was going to probably be part of G.I. Joe Day. A couple of surprises, a couple of interesting twists for this year. And then some other information that has come to light as well. So we're going to go over all this information a little bit at a time. First off, were you guys able to see all the new renders? Were you able to watch all the videos on G.I. Joe Day? There's like 30 different videos talking about all these renders and all this stuff on G.I. Joe Day yesterday. All your big name podcasts and stuff like that covered it. And we covered it as well in Toy Talk Live at 2:00. Me and Terry Ruin and Dan Thompson on our podcast as well. But I want to go into a little bit more in depth because we kind of rushed because we only have a certain time frame that we can do stuff on that show, but I have a little bit more time and a little bit freer availability than we do on that show, so I'm going to try to do more with it here. So first off, hanging fruit, the ones that we thought we knew were probably coming because we already got name onlys, right? Red Dog and Taurus, right? First off, the other two Sergeant Slaughter Marauders, Red Dog and Taurus, There was a lot of new accessories with Red Dog. They gave him the football with the little stand. They gave him those cool bats and stuff like that. He looks really cool. Looks exactly like he should look. And then Taurus has a lot of really cool weapons and accessories as well. But in the render, it looks like Taurus is slightly smaller than Red Dog. So I don't think that's necessarily the case. In renders, they have to maneuver the render to get everything into the picture. So I think they just reduced the art of Taurus in the picture. I don't think he's going to be that short. Or you can hold me to that if you get it in hand and call me on it later when we get it. But I don't think it's going to be that short. I think once we see an actual figure of it, I think it's going to be the same as Red Dog and Mercer. And I know a lot of people were not happy with the way Mercer turned out. We have not gotten to Mercer. He's in about 10 more videos. We will be getting to him in a little while. So we can go over that disappointment on Mercer in that video. But so do you guys agree with me on the Taurus situation? Do you think he's going to be the same size as Red Dog and Mercer, and that render in that photography is not quite accurate? Or do you think that's the height that you think it's going to be? Laces out. Okay. So, but I think it looks fantastic. It looks like they should look. It's just a matter of how tall they are. People are giving it that mainframe scenario. They think it's going to be like mainframe. I don't think so. I really don't. I think he's going to be the normal size. All right. So the next one that was low-hanging fruit that we got the name only for. I saw another pic of Taurus and Red Dog together, and he looked fine. Yep, that's it. That's exactly it, Will. So I don't think we need to worry about that. I think he's going to be perfectly fine, and he's going to be the right height. He's going to match the other two. So all three of them will be about the same, because they were very hench guys in the cartoon, the movie, in the 1987 movies with Falcon, I might add, and they all looked about the same. So we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But it's an interesting thing. But they wanted to get all those accessories in there, so I think they shrunk him down a smidge to get all that stuff in there with all the guns and stuff that was in there with him. But all right, next one. So we knew this was coming because we got the name only, and that is the Ninja Force Zartan. Now, I personally think they upgraded it slightly for classified. Now, this is a Target exclusive. This is part of the Ninja Force Target exclusive launch this year. There's going to be, I think, 3 Target exclusive Ninja Force releases this year, and this is the first one, Zartan, and it's Ninja Force Zartan. They gave him the more leather jacket instead of the vest, which was open on the vintage one. The vintage one was more purplish, and then this one, the jacket matches the Zorana jacket. It's a leather jacket. It has the it's all black, and it has the zippers and stuff. They left all the elements of that Zartan still, with the orange chain on the end of the that. He still has the arms missing, the sleeves of the arm of the jacket missing, so you can still see Zartan's arms. He has a purple and green fatigues and armor and stuff, but they are definitely subdued. They are not the high green, lime green, and bright purple that they were in the vintage version of him. The face mask, the face paint, and the mohawk and all that looks accurate. He comes with lots of accessories, bows and arrows and quivers and string for the arrow. He's got several swords, knives. He's got all kinds of stuff. They decked him out a lot with all kinds of equipment and stuff. So he's a really good figure when it comes to that stuff. I've never been a very big fan of that Zartan, Ninja Force Zartan, but I'm going to wait and hold my judgment on the figure until I get it in hand. But one that we were expecting, and it's a Target exclusive. Let's see. Gunpowder Nitro. Only spending I'm doing right now is on Wave 1 of Retros. I'm holding out for the HasLab this year. Okay. If there's some vintage retro package figures that you're looking for, Gunpowder, send me a DM in Facebook Messenger, David T. Allen. Let me know which first ones you're missing. I might have some of them. I don't have Snake Eyes. I don't have Zartan. I don't have Storm Shadow. But and the Crimson Guard. Hello, Sean Jones. Just in case that that Night Raven shows up. Yep. Smart. Hey, Dave in chat. Hello. The legs on Taurus are Airborne's legacy pilot. He'll be the right height. Relax, everybody. Relax, folks. All right. Let's get back to it. Okay, so then the next low-hanging fruit was the Hydra Viper. Hydra Viper looks awesome. Definitely subdued colors on the body. It looks like it's the eel's body, I believe, but it's definitely a subdued color, whereas the vintage one's much brighter. I do like the fact that they gave him those red, like demonic eyes from all that genetic manipulation that they've done on him, the Hydra Viper. And I love that helmet. Looks perfectly fine to me. I think it's excellent. I love the Manta. I think it looks really cool. I hope there's some movability with the wings and the tail on that. That's the only thing that I'm worried about with the Manta. But everything else looks exactly like he should. I like the cool webbed hand. And I like the feet. The webbed feet are much bigger than the wetsuit. I thought they were using the wetsuit, but they use much bigger ones for him. So he looks really, really good. Gunpowder Nitro. Thanks, Dave. Demon of the Deep. Oh, yeah. Hydra Viper is awesome. Hydra Viper is the Waves winner for me. Looks great. Yep. He's an excellent figure. I agree with you. All right, so that's 3. So now we're going to get into that little clue that they gave us of that strut. We were speculating that it could be a bunch of things. Could be Zartan's Swamp Skier. Could have been the Battle Polar Bear. Could have been a couple other things. People have gone crazy. They thought it was the wolf and all this stuff. But it did turn out to be the Swamp Skier with Zanya from Devil's Due. And her only figure was in that 7-pack that came out in 2011 from the that 7 Dreadnought set. That's the only time they ever did that figure. I thought for sure she had an earlier figure, but nope, she didn't. And I love the dreadlocks in her hair, and I love the symbol on her shirt. I wish they had did the mesh on her arms and part of her shirt to hang down a little bit. I think that little detail would have really went really far with her, but she looks fantastic. I love all the accessories. They did go a little bit more darker with the color deco on the Swamp Skier. They did not keep the bright teals and greens that they had on the vintage one. So there's a little bit difference. And it's turning out, it looks like she's going to be the figure that's that $59.99 figure that was at the ports that we were talking about last week. $59.99 with Zanya and the Swamp Skier. I think it's a big mistake that they gave her the Swamp Skier. I think she could have stood on her own as a normal mainline release, and they could have did that vehicle with like whatever generic Dreadnoks, Billy Bob, Billy Joe, Billy whatever, Dreadnoks from the 2000s. And then we could have had multiple heads. Then we could have got Army built those swamp skiers and gave it to all the Dreadnoks. I think it was a mistake to put a name character with that vehicle, knowing that everybody wants like a dozen of those swamp skiers. That was a big miss on their part, on Hasbro's part. I don't like that at all. I think they should not have done that. That's my opinion. All right. Let's see. Airtight and retro packaging would be sick. Oh yeah, definitely. Loving the hockey mask with the Zartan face paint for Zanya. Yeah, she's got this really cool face mask, hockey mask that looks really good. She's got a lot of cool accessories. There's nothing wrong with that figure. I love it. Other than like I said, I wish she would have had the mesh on her arms and like part of her waist, because that's how she portrayed in all the comics. But that's just a small little detail. The swamp skier, there's a lot more problems. She got the mesh. Okay. Some of it. All right. We'll have to get a better, closer look at her then. All right. So those are all your low-hanging fruit, right? So then we got two figures. One of them that I had revealed was coming in leaked listings, and one Destro is my spirit animal revealed in his leak listings. And the one that Destro is my spirit animal leaked was Overkill, and it was the first Overkill, who is like a commander of the bats, and he's very bright green, like Cobra on the chest with the tongue, and open up chamber. You can barely see it, but there's two little hinges on the side and a line down the middle. So you know that he's going to have that gun that's going to pop out of his chest. Yes, I do think they went a little bit too vintage with him, with that gaudy green and gold and red. It looks really ridiculous. It's like they had all this extra paint and they just said, hey, let's just deco this whatever colors, when they did it a vintage originally as a vintage figure, but now the new one, they decoed it identically. It's one of the first figures that I've seen as a mainline classified that looks pretty close to the vintage version. So I'm guessing we're not going to get another Bat Commander or Overkill Commander or whatever you want to call him. And he's got a lot of accessories and stuff like that. I like the helmet, and I like the fact that he's got like one robotic eye on the left, I think, and then he's got a real eye on the inside of the right, or maybe it's the reverse. And if you look really close at that render, you can see the real eye in there. So he still has a bit of humanity still left in there. I didn't think of Army building swamp skiers. Good point, Dave. Thank you. Nipple cannons. Yeah, the nipple cannons. They've been coined the nipple cannons now by several places. So I want to look at the figure when I get it in hand. He's another one because I think it's going to be more subdued. I don't think it's going to be as bright as it looks on the render. I think they're going to be more subdued in real life. So I'm looking forward to getting that. So I believe he's a mainline figure, and Hydra Viper is also a mainline figure. And then we got two more mainline figures. So this is one that I leaked in my listings, and that is Airtight is coming to the main line. And we got, I would say, a practically spot-on vintage Airtight. And that completes the 1985 single release figures. There's only a couple more years left for 85. I believe it's Tollbooth, Heavy Metal, and maybe a redeco of Clutch or something like that. I can't recall. And then there's also the Starduster might be that year as well. So there's some redecos there. But that's all that's left for 85. We're very close to finishing 85. And the only way to get like Heavy Metal and Tollbooth is to get them with the HasLab tank, whatever we're going to get. So there you go for that one. So then I think he's perfect. There's people are saying his backpack's a little small, and I don't know if that's true or not, because the render, maybe it looks a little small because the render is all computer generated and they have to place the stuff in there, and it might just be that. I'm going to hold off my judgment on the backpack, but it's exactly the same backpack. He looks exactly the way he should, and the helmet does come off. So Chris McLeod and the Full Force did his homework. He touched base with Lenny and the Hasbro team. They told him that the helmet does come off of airtight. So there you go. So then we got the number one figure out of this entire line, reveals these renders and all this stuff. That I'm the most intrigued about is the mystery figure. And I will say right now, unequivocally, it's not Wild Bill. Everybody in this chat, it's not Wild Bill. The retro card Wild Bill is coming this year, but that's not the figure. This is probably one of the two new characters that the Hasbro team on the Adventures in Collecting, when they mentioned on that podcast, there was going to be two new characters, brand new, spanking new characters, never appeared ever before in any G.I. Joe brand. Cobra and Joe. And because this is a blue background with the G.I. Joe stars and stripes behind it, I believe it's the brand new Joe. I don't know who it is. It definitely looks like he's a Western type of a character. He has the holsters. He's got the revolvers. He's got a pickaxe. He's got a knife. He's got a hat, a cowboy hat. It looks like he's got a poncho on, and he's got some sort of device on his arm, like a tracking device of something like that on his right arm. We'll have to wait to see who that is. But it's a new character. I don't know who it is, though. It's not Clint Eastwood. Gunpowder Nitro. Walker Texas Ranger. Nope, it's not Walker Texas Ranger. It's going to be like they did with Parth Varma. Do you guys remember Parth Varma? I did him. He was like in the 90s of the numbering. And he was a completely new paratrooper, completely new character. No, actually, he was in the one odds, right? 100 odds. Completely new character. And I want that. I want new characters. I want interesting things. And I'm looking forward to this character. So, but it's not Wild Bill. Boo, reuse of such new parts. Yeah. Sean Jones, that's the way it goes. They've got to get their money out of this stuff. There's always a couple of characters that have reuse. If you looked at the last wave that we pre-ordered in October, we've got a lot of reuse in that wave. First off, we got Mallrats Stage 2, completely reused. I think Hit and Run has some reuse. I think Main Line had some reuse. Who was Night Viper and Big Lob, I don't think had that much reuse. Maybe a little bit of reuse in Night Viper. But they've got to have to do that. There's always going to be a character that's going to be strongly reused out of these so they can get their money's worth. So this is a 5-figure wave. So the last figure is going to be, I think, Chris McLeod mentioned it in the Full Force. I'm trying to remember who the name of that leak listing code name was, and I can't remember what it was. Something with a D, I think he said it was, but I can't remember. So there's going to be another figure that has not been revealed for this 5-figure wave. So this 5-figure wave is going to be Hydra Viper, Airtight, Overkill, the Mystery Cowboy, and another figure that I believe is going to be a Joe. The other mystery character is going to be a Joe. I don't know who that is off the top of my head. I know it's a thing. Yep. Range Viper with a cowboy hat and a snow poncho. No, I don't think it's that. But that's interesting, though. But you get the idea. They're going to have to put a reuse character in these waves. It's just going to be the way it is going forward. But we will get that Wild Bill, retro carded Wild Bill with a slightly different deco and so on and so forth. For you guys that didn't get the HasLab Dragonfly, because I think they're going to do all the Dragonfly figures except for Glenda. I don't think she's going to get another reuse. I think we got Crazy Legs, we got Ripcord, and Wild Bill. They're all going to get retro carded releases in their vintage versions. Son of Wild Bill, Crazy William. Hey, you never know. It's a possibility. But Lenny and them, they said they liked creating those new concepts and new ideas. But we'll have to wait. I think we don't have that much time to wait because Toy Fair is coming up in less than 2 weeks. It's not this weekend, it's next weekend. So it'll be the 14th through the 17th. So I think the 15th is where we're going to probably end up getting the G.I. Joe portion of that. And there's also usually a Hasbro dinner reveal on the night before. So Chris McLeod and the Full Force will cover all that. So we will get all that information. So don't you worry about it. So what else? There are several dates that have been set up for pre-orders from Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store over the next couple of weeks. So I think some of these things we may get a notification that they're going to be able to pre-order some of this stuff once all the 5-figure wave is revealed. I think they will let us pre-order those 5 figures. They'll pre-order probably Zanya and the Swamp Skier, and they'll probably let us pre-order the Taurus Red Dog, and maybe the Royal Guard, and maybe the 3-pack, the Arctic 3-pack with the Steel Core, Arctic Steel Core, the Arctic Saw Viper, and the Drift. So that's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to be able to order. I don't think we're going to be able to order the Zartan because he's a Target. So that's going to be a Target thing. They usually put those up themselves and do their own promotion stuff for that for the Geek Outs. So I think that Zartan will be the spring Geek Out sometime in March. Don't hold me to that, but I think so. I think that's where you'll be able to pre-order that Zartan. So I think out of all the stuff that we've got the renders for now, I think all that's going to come up for pre-order over the next couple of weeks. Either before Toy Fair or after Toy Fair. So keep your eyes peeled on that, all that stuff. The Enforcer is the last code in the wave on the Full Force list. Enforcer, that's it. So Enforcer is the code name for the next figure in that 5-figure wave. I just couldn't remember. I knew it was some sort of villainous name, but I wasn't sure. Thank you very much, me. I think I'm gonna pass on the Dragonfly. I got a Rattler and 2 Hiss tanks coming, then throw in a HasLab. That's a pretty good haul for the year, not counting what figures I pick up here and there. Gunpowder. If you go to conventions, sometimes you can find them really cheap. Walmart has started to put a lot of their stuff on clearance. So if there's something in there like, say, Budo or the police officer or the Sergeant Slaughter and Mercer or the Stinger with Driver, they're probably all available on clearance at Walmart's right now if you're interested in a lot of that stuff. Some of the retro figures, Dr. Mindbender, the Viper, that batch, Rock and Roll, some of the second this batch that I'm going through now, CoverGirl, Televiper, and Flint might be available. So you might be able to get some of this stuff at those. And Target has some stuff too on clearance too. I saw a lot of the divers. I saw a lot of the Scorpion Viper or Desert Scorpion. I saw some breakers. I saw some heavy metals. So there's a bunch of stuff at Target too. If any of that stuff that you're looking for, you like, then there's a couple of opportunities there to get some of that stuff. That Budo, I highly recommend that Budo. We haven't gotten to him, but he's coming very soon, and he's one of the best figures of last year. If you're into the later years, he was like, I think 89 or 88, somewhere in that range. So that was a lot of information to cover on all that stuff. So what do you guys think about all that stuff? Do you think it was a good haul? We got less reveals than we did last year. We got 9 last year. We had the Striker, we had the Snake Armor, we had the Claw, we had a whole bunch of figures revealed, 2 packs revealed last year. So we got less this year. We only got 7 reveals this year, but some interesting stuff nonetheless. A lot of it was low-hanging fruit from the fall, New York Comic Con, MCM London, and Brazil. So the figures that we haven't got anything on yet, that we still have name-onlys, we have Deep Six. We haven't seen anything for him. We haven't gotten Iceberg. Iceberg is probably going to be in the next 5-figure wave, and that 5-figure wave will probably be around Yojo June time, and we'll get that sometime at the end of the summer, sometime around there. And then we got Shebang, which it's very heavily confirmed that Shebang is going to be a 2-pack, and it looks like it's going to be Ninja Force Scarlet with Shebang, and that will be another Target exclusive for Ninja Force in the summer, maybe, possibly in the summer during San Diego Comic Con. We might get that revealed. Let's see. I love the Dreadnoks, so I was happy. You love the Dreadnoks, so you're happy because you got 2 Dreadnoks. Well, you know, we may get more Dreadnoks. Who knows? We got a lot of Dreadnoks last year. We got 6 Dreadnoks last year, if you include Code Slither. So maybe there'll be more Dreadnoks this year. We still haven't gotten Thrasher. We haven't gotten Zanzibar to finish off the original OG Dreadnoks, right? I would like to get that guy that was in the Thunder Machine that looks like Monkey Wrench, but it's not Monkey Wrench. It's a different guy. I think that would be funny if they did that as a Dreadnought. Maybe Zanzibar and that guy. I think that would be a hilarious thing because they've done that with homages to characters on the packages, like they did with what's his name from the Dragonfly. They put the guy Wayne Luthor, who was originally going to go with the Dragonfly and Ace, but they cut him for cost. But they did it with the HasLab. They did Wayne Luthor. Failsafe. So I think it would be funny if they did that with the Thunder Machine and Thrasher, or did that guy as a separate character. So I love all that, and they keep all that fun stuff because they did the same thing with the Python Patrol, Cobra Officer and Trooper. They accidentally swapped the name on the renders and on the promotional slides that they did, and there was something else that was from the past that they also did. They carried that homage over to Classified as well. So they do a lot of that stuff in Classified, which I love. I love all that stuff, all those little mysteries and fun things from the vintage line that they follow through with it on Classified. That means they pay attention. They care about this brand. They care about what they're doing and how they're presenting it and putting the stuff out there. I think they're doing a fantastic job. Dave, did you buy the Cold Slither set? Yes, I did. He's going to be coming up in about three or 4 videos. That's going to be coming up. Cold Slither is going to be reviewed probably Friday or Saturday over the weekend. I'll be reviewing that. It'll be a bigger video because it's 4 figures and it's an incredible set. I showed it off when I got it, and I kind of did a soft review of it and the package and everything, but we're going to open it up and we're going to really go to town on it this week sometime. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell there so you can get notified when I do these reviews if you want to be involved and watch and talk and add to the conversation, because That's why I do this, is to get you guys to be involved, to be part of the conversation and talk with you guys and chat with you guys, see what you guys are thinking, see what I'm thinking, and we mix it all up in a big pot of coolness and have fun. That's what this is. This is just us having fun every time we do one of these. All the guys that have been here a long time, you guys all know that. I enjoy G.I. Joe. I enjoy this brand, and I'm just trying to enjoy myself with these videos. Bobby World, Thrasher. So where was I? Where was I going with that? So yeah, so we'll probably end up getting those pre-ordered sometime soon, and I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't get the next retro package wave as well sometime around Toy Fair, somewhere around there. So I said Iceberg, Deep Six, and Japang are the next three that we need to get revealed. So I don't think they're going to reveal Japang for a while. Deep Six maybe. Iceberg probably not till June. So I think Iceberg and Japang, they're going to wait. I think maybe Deep Six we might see, and then we might see a lot of other surprises. We're probably going to figure out who that missing character is for that 5-figure mainline wave is, and we're going to figure out who that Western character is. I really looked very, very hard yesterday after that reveal, and I really wanted it to be Tomb Raider. And I know you guys don't think it's Tomb Raider, but I was thinking, oh man, that could be Tomb Raider, because she could be wearing a poncho. She sometimes wears a cowboy hat, and she has the holsters, and she's got the boots and the jeans, and the bottom kind of looked like it could be female. I don't know. I would love it to be Tomb Raider. But I don't know how that fits into G.I. Joe Classified. That's the key to this. Where does she fit in if they do Tomb Raider? And 610 Yojo Daddy, did you ever find out if there was a code name for Tomb Raider in the listings for me? Hey, FYI, for all of us customizers and collectors, Mattel is switching over to 1/12 scale, starting with the He-Man figures from the new movie. They're also doing it with their WWE wrestlers and DC figures. Very interesting. Changing the scale going forward, Mattel is. I think it's a Cobra figure. What the other code name? What's that code name again? Enforcer? You think the Enforcer name is a Cobra figure? Gunpowder Nitro? I believe Full Force Chris McLeod said it was a Joe. That's why we're going with Joe. But if you have other information that we don't have, that's fine. And the cowboy is definitely a Joe, because it had the blue background with the G.I. Joe stars and stripes in the back of it. So that has to be a Joe. And that wave, it would be a little unbalanced if they made that other character a Cobra, because then you'd have 3 Cobras and 1 Joe, and then whatever the mystery character is. Oh, the mystery figure. No, the mystery figure is a Joe, because it's blue. It's got the blue background, and it has the Joe's stars and stripes behind it. Just go and look at any stream that has that, and you'll see it has the blue around it. So it's a Joe. Unless they're misleading us. I've never seen them do that before. I've never seen them mislead us by switching the colors like that. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on it. But I'm very, very certain it's a Joe. I would love it to be Tomb Raider with a Mexican serape, and the helm, the hat with the little teeth in the brim, kind of like an Australian hat. And the fact that she comes with that pickaxe and that knife and revolvers, she uses revolvers. Tomb Raider does. So I'm still holding out that it could be her, but I will suspend my judgment until after, and then we'll see. Because she's supposed to be a main line figure that's going to be released. A mystery figure could be the Legacy Texas Rangers from the 2012-inch G.I. Joe line. Maybe. But if it's a new character, then Lenny and Tony said it's a character that they've never had in the classified or G.I. Joe brand or any G.I. Joe brand. So if that's a character that exists, then that doesn't fit that parameter that they set for that Joe and that Cobra. So I think this wave we're getting the new Joe, and then the next wave that'll probably be around Yo-Joe June will be the new Cobra. That's my gut feeling on how they're going to do that. Clint Eastwood, then. Maybe. We've gotten Sergeant Slaughter. We've gotten Refrigerator Perry. We've gotten Rowdy Piper. Who else have we gotten that was famous people in real life in G.I. Joe? I don't know. We were supposed to get Rambo, but we didn't get him. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting tie-in. And G.I. Joe has been doing a lot of video game tie-ins. Classified has done about 8 or 9 video game tie-ins. This entire Classified line started with a video game tie-in, Operation Blackout. They then did the Fortnite Snake Eyes. They've done also the World of Tanks crossovers. They've done the variations of the figures that look like that weird little kitty game as well. I don't think anything looks like Wrath of Cobra, though, from what I've seen yet. Then there's another one. The Heroescape is doing G.I. Joe, and Renegade Game Studios has been doing a lot of G.I. Joe stuff. So there's a lot of game connections to G.I. Joe since Classified started. So I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibility that they would tie in another video game character with G.I. Joe and Classified. Solid Snake. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah, there's definitely a chance. I'll never say there's never a chance, because Emily and Lenny and Tony and B-Mac said there's nothing off the table. In G.I. Joe, there's nothing off the table. So there's always a slim chance we could get anything. Any of the most ridiculous things in the world, like the Window Viper. It's a possibility. I don't want the Window Viper. I don't think it's a character that should be in Classified. Super 7's arena, yes, but not in Classified. Wild West Cutter. Who knows? It's got to be a new character, though. It's not going to be a character redecoed. But somebody did a beautiful Snake Eyes that was an Old West Snake Eyes, and now I want that as a figure, that Old West Snake Eyes. I think it'd be really cool. So I think that's an awesome looking figure. Apparently, the whale is off the table. Why? What? Who said it was off the table? Salt Viper. Who said it was off the table? I just think it's going to be impossible. It's going to be very expensive, New York Knights. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's impossible. Anything's possible. It's just a matter of how much money, how much you're willing to spend out there in YouTube land, how much you can suspend your car payment or your mortgage payment to buy a $500 toy with one figure, because it's not going to come with more than one figure. If it's that big and they have to go to all that trouble to make that, that's the only figure it's going to come with is Cutter. And I'm sure that's fine with everybody. But other people will be griping, oh, it only came with one figure. Maybe they'll give you some patches. Aren't you the one that wanted the patches, New York Knights? So you can get some patches and Cutter, and there's your whale. But it's still going to be expensive. Yes, the Night Raven holds 3. So I think if you get a Night Raven, though, because of the size of the Night Raven and the ability, the modular ability where you have to take it apart and this and that to put it together and to put the pod together, I think the only thing you're going to get with the Night Raven is the Night Raven pilot and Raven, the female version. I think those would be the only two that they would put with that. I think that would be fair, and I think that would be enough if you did the Night Raven with those two figures. That's just my viewpoint. You may have a different viewpoint. You might want another figure. He does love the patches. Well, he does, Will R. New York Knights loves the patches. So it's interesting. So Toy Fair is going to have a lot of other stuff. So hold off on judgment on a lot of this stuff. And we'll see. We got a couple more weeks, a little under 2 weeks left. The Night Raven pilots look sick. Yeah, they do. I think they really would look nice in a classified. And the cool thing about it is when you get a lot of the black figures, where there's different layers of black. You get that matte black, and then you get that shiny black, and then add that red to it, that leathery red, and have the helmets come off and stuff like that, and have them with the guns and stuff. I think the Raven pilots would look absolutely fantastic. Really, I think they would. To do a male and a female version, both, I think they would be beautiful. And I would love to get a Raven. I think it'd be very long. I don't know where we'd put that. It definitely won't be as big as the whale, but it'll still be big. Good one, Will R. Water moccasin this year. Yeah, there's been a lot of rumor about the water moccasin, and it's going to come with a troop builder, diver of some sort, or a pilot or some sort, and not Copperhead, which I think is a mistake. I really would have liked a retro version of Copperhead that was more brighter, with his helmet that removes, so then you can finally swap out the head for the other two versions of Wild Weasel. So I want the water moccasin, definitely. It's going to be $100 range vehicle, right? It'll be in the Vamp, the Stinger, the Ostriker range, but I do want a Copperhead retro, much brighter, much more colorful, with those dots on the hands, the different variations of the dots. Give them both sets of hands with the two different sets of dots, and then the helmet that comes off with the head. And then that it would be a dream water moccasin for me. But from what we're hearing, it's coming in with some sort of a troop builder driver. We're getting the fruit bat frontline rations unit for infantry treats, battle android trooper vending machine with legs. Yeah, I'm not a very big fan of that variation of the bat commander, or whatever you want to call him, version 3 bat, or I don't know, because there was the sound attack bat, right? Or was there a sound attack? I can't remember, but he's like version 3 bat or something, and I don't particularly care for him. I'm hoping if we see it in person, that's one of the figures that I want to be subdued when I get it in person, because it looks very bright on that render, right? I do love the fact that it has the Buttons McBoom Boom guns that come out of it and stuff like that, and I'm hoping that it's modular, so you can take parts of other bats and you can swap out, and you can add different claws and different weapons and things like that. And I hope you can put the backpack on him and you can do different stuff with him. So I'm hoping that it's a modular figure. It's just a different deco of a bat with a different head and that Buttons big boom boom gun that opens up. That's my stance on that bat. We'll just have to wait on that one. But what do you guys think? Do you think this let's see an Asp, Gunpowder Nitro says. I want an Asp. I think we can get an Asp. There's definitely multiple decos for that. Did we already rule out that the blacked out character could be Risk from the Energon Universe comics? No, we've not ruled that out. But he didn't look like that with that outline and stuff like that in the Skybound comics. He had a business suit. It was more like a gangster, silverish business suit and stuff like that. And he was a little bit of a martial arts type of a guy. So I don't know if that's who that is. But that's interesting. If they really reinterpreted Risk and made him a Western character, that would be an interesting twist on that character. And yes, that would be a brand new character that we've never gotten the G.I. Joe line ever before in the 64 years or 63 years. So that's a good call, Hills Me. Ask long overdue. Yeah, it is a long overdue because we've gotten the HMS, 2 HMSs now, MMS and HMS, and then we've got a couple of other things. But I think the way that this is going to play out is there's going to be 3 of each thing. So I'm thinking we're going to get another HMS or MMS somewhere in the future with a different deco. So we've gotten the Cobra, we've gotten the Joe, now we're going to get something else. Maybe a Crimson one. In the comics right now, there's a Crimson Vamp in there. So maybe we could get a Crimson Vamp from the comics. Who knows? No, you're right. He doesn't wear a cowboy hat, New York Knights. That's what I'm saying. It would be a different interpretation of Risk if that's who that is. But I don't know. I think it's possible, but I don't know. The character probably won't be from any previous canon, comics, games, toys, or movies. You were right, Will R. I think that's what it's going to end up being. I think it's going to be a new character, and it's going to play into, I think, maybe something to do with possibly that Raptor Master and Raptor animal and figure set. And I think that's where that harness is going to play in, too. Vamp Mark II, please. Definitely with a redeco clutch in desert camo. And I think they need to start developing that desert faction of G.I. Joe. And there's a possibility we're going to get a 3-pack of Desert Troopers for G.I. Joe this year. So we'll see how that turns out. So either that or it'll go for Cobra and it'll be with the Desert Scorpion. But I don't know. So yes, the cowboy guy is going to be an interesting character. I look forward to it, and I think he's going to be pretty good. Sundown from Cops. There you go. Sundown from Cops. Very interesting. Out of the box thinking on that one. New York Knights. Sundown is a cool character. I like Sundown, in fact. But I believe the Big Bad Toy Store Studios or whatever toy shop is doing Cops in the same scale as Classified. I got a notification that my Bulletproof was arriving soon, and I will showcase that once I get it. And I believe there's a Bad Brains or whatever his name is the next one. So I would love to get Cops. I think it'd be fantastic because I loved Cops. They were already, I would say, 5 or 6 inches. The Cops figures when they came out in the late 80s, they're the largest O-rings that they did of that at that time, I believe. So interesting. But yeah, I would love the Cops. Let's see. So what else? My next video is going to be a twofer. It's going to be a 2-pack of characters that I love from the 90s. They're Cobras. So that should give you enough clues as to who my next video is going to be. And it'll be tomorrow morning. I've been waiting a while to get to this video because this year they did so many great figures and characters and items that it's been like I've been salivating almost every video because there's so many awesome things for me to unpackage and look at and review. So the next one is one of those items. And it was in my top 10, and I kind of cheated a little bit, and I had it in my top 10 best of 2025 with me and Woody. I remember Mace from Cops is Beachhead's son, so there's your tie-in. Oh yeah, there's several tie-ins with Cops, several tie-ins with that G.I. Joe has ties to, I would say, most of the brands. They have ties to Cops. They have ties to G.I. Joe Extreme. They have ties to Sergeant Savage. They have ties to Inhumanoids. They got ties to Gem, Transformers, Mask, Rom, the Micronauts. Very, very thin Visionaries, very thin, only through IDW's world, their Hasbro larger world, does the Visionaries connect in that world. I don't think the G.I. Joes ever crossed over with them, though. Everything comes out of the OG G.I. Joe. Yep, you're right. Everything comes out of the OG G.I. Joe. So this character, he's got to be somebody in the line that maybe there's something missing. Like when they did Parth Varma, he was another paratrooper, but he was a different paratrooper than the Airborns, the Crazy Legs, the Ripcords. He was more of a night attack paratrooper, so that's why he was on Night Force as part of the Walmart exclusive. So this figure, whoever it is, it's got to fit into a niche that we need a character in. And so that's the train of thought that I'm looking at it from as well, Hills me. Because where is there an area of G.I. Joe that we don't have a lot of representation in? I don't know. That's a good question, because there's thousands of G.I. Joes, hundreds of good guys, hundreds of bad guys, and a lot of monsters. So could he be the antithesis of the Raptor Master and the Raptor? Could he be the antithesis of that character? And he's a hunter, a game hunter, a G.I. Joe game hunter, kind of like Naugahyde was a game hunter for the Dreadnoks, and kind of like a Recondo. Maybe it's a classified up newer version of Recondo, but I don't know. I just don't know. We never got a newer upgraded Recondo. We got Tiger Force Recondo. We got Vintage Package Recondo, which is pretty close to the vintage version, but we never got a classified Recondo. So could it be Recondo, an upgraded version? And he has more game hunting going on there. I don't know. Anything's possible at this point. In the 80s, wasn't there a Super Trooper mail-in? Yeah, there was a Super Trooper. You're right. And that's his name, Super Trooper. So there's a guy there, Super Trooper. That's an oddball character. I don't know if it ever really... He appeared in the Club comics, I think. I don't think he ever appeared in any G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, Larry Hama comics. And I don't think he's been in the IDW comics, and I don't think he's been in Skybound. And I don't think he was in Devil's Due either. Why don't you guys Google Super Trooper and see where he appeared as a comic character for me. Because I don't recall. So let's see, what else do we have going on? We have, I talked about our next video. I have the Senflo Joe Show. Central Florida, Deltona, Florida, in April 18th at the center at Deltona. Mark Pennington, designer of G.I. Joe from 87 to 89, and comic book artist. He worked on The Path for CrossGen Comics, and he's done a lot of other art type stuff in the real design world and the art world. And he's going to be our primary guest. We have just announced that we're also going to have Strike Force Alpha at the show, toy company by Matt LaCroix, and he's going to have an exclusive figure. We have not revealed what that exclusive O-ring scale figure is going to be yet, but we will be doing that shortly. So there will be an exclusive figure that you can purchase at our show that will only be available at the Senflo Joe Show by Matt LaCroix and Strike Force Alpha. We will also be having Adam Riches, comic book artist, cover artist, package designer for Super 7 and Hasbro, will also be at the Senflo Joe Show. We will also be having the author Roger Taft from After Action Report, who has helped author 9 or 10 books about G.I. Joe and the history of G.I. Joe comics, characters, gaming books, deep dives into the origins and history of um, Silent Interlude, issue 21 of A Real American Hero by Larry Hama. They did a deep dive book about that, which is a fantastic book that is, and then some character guides as well. And who else? Jason Mark Sobel, comic book artist, comic book cover artist, is going to be there. We're working on several other Hasbro guests we're trying to get from the original Hasbro team in the 80s. I can't say who they are yet until we've confirmed that they're going to be at the show. And then we also have a comic book company, Rising Sun Comics, and the publisher, editor-in-chief, Hawk Saunders, will be here at the Central Florida Joe Show. There'll be all kinds of cool G.I. Joe comics for that. And we'll have tons of toys, tons of G.I. Joe stuff, comics, you name it, Star Wars, Transformers, Masters, Thundercats, all your favorite brands from the 80s and vintage toy collecting as a child, you will be able to get at the G.I. Joe, the Senflo Joe Show. I will also have a booth, and I will be selling some G.I. Joe stuff as well. He had chrome armor, didn't he? Yes, he did. Gunpowder Nitro. Yes, he did. Like a G.I. Joe special agent coming out of the Fish and Game Wildlife Office Service. There you go. See, we don't have a character like that, I don't think. That's perfect. Hills me. Perfect. I like that idea. Some sort of a alternate character to the Naugahyde and the Raptor Master, or whatever his name gonna be. Just joining. Yo Joe, did I miss much? Keegan Collins, you missed the entire show. We talked about CoverGirl, the classified retro CoverGirl, and the various her original version, her Wolverine, her history, her name, her packages, designs, and we went into a deep dive on her. And then we've been talking about all the renders that were revealed for G.I. Joe Day. Happy G.I. Joe Day, belated by one day. So I let everybody else do all their shows yesterday, and now I'm covering all that same information today and getting a little bit more information since I watched all that stuff. So I was able to get all the added information to make my video a little bit more in-depth and more informative for you guys. So you don't have to worry about speculation from other places. You're getting the facts as far as I know them, as much 100% as I can give. So thanks for joining us anyway at the very end. We're just talking about the Senflo Joe Show here in Florida, Central Florida, April 19th. So if any of you guys have the opportunity to join me, I would love you to come out to the show. And I talked about we're going to be doing a twofer tomorrow in our next video. It's going to be a Cobra twofer, beautiful, phenomenal 2-pack set of figures. And I look forward to that. And I think that is going to be it for this video, unless you guys have something else that you want to add to all these reveals and renders and name onlys and leaks and stuff. There's still a whole lot more to come. Trust me, we've got Toy Fair coming up, New York Toy Fair, in a little under 2 weeks. So it's going to be interesting. February is going to be a big month. So it's usually now, the big months are usually February, June, July, October, and then we get a little peppering in between those months. What kind of sound does CoverGirl's sledgehammer make, Dave? Let me see if I can do a sledgehammer. They go, critique, critique, critique. How about that? Does that sound like a sledgehammer? I don't know. Oh man, you guys are funny. I love you guys. You guys are so cool. Sledgehammers are very heavy. I had to lift sledgehammers, and they are not light. So there you go. Uh, so what else? Did you guys enjoy GI Joe Day, Keegan and everybody? Did you guys think we were treated good this year, or do you think we should have got more renders and more leaks and more information? Um, Oh, I forgot to mention we are also getting an eel, a Cobra eel for Haya was revealed last week as well. And the green shirts troop building pack was revealed today from Heroescape as part of Renegade Games. I'm going to try and get all those. They're going to be expensive to get, but I do want to get all those. And then they said that the eel will not be released until Q1 2027. So we're going to have to wait a whole year for that eel from Haya. Great job, Dave. Love your knowledge and excitement. G.I. Joe Day was fun. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And thank you very much. I appreciate it. I do this for you guys. I've said it before, and it'd be very boring to just hear myself talk if I didn't have you guys here to bounce back ideas and talk with and hang out. You guys are my friends. I feel like I'm a kid again, and I'm just hanging out with all my friends when I was a child, and we're just talking G.I. Joe, which I love. Will we be seeing more on the 14th? Oh, yes. I'm sure we're going to get the Hasbro dinner presentation is usually the night before their presentation on the sales floor of the toy fair. So that's the 15th, the sales floor presentation. So I think the dinner thing will get a few sneak peeks, and then they'll put them on the floor on the 15th. And then, like I said before, Chris McLeod, the full force, will probably be covering all that stuff. So you guys keep an eye on his socials. He's on top of it. He takes the train in from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. He drives down. He gets a hotel, and they give him credentials, news credentials, and media credentials. I would love to go. I just don't have the financial ability to go to that, but I would love to go to that. Hasbro, if you ever watch these videos and you're able to do that, I would love to go. It's not that difficult. It's a $55 train ticket from Florida to New York, so it wouldn't be that difficult. I would just need the credentials in like a hotel or something like that. But I have friends that live in New York, so I could stay with them. So if any of you guys have any connections to Hasbro and the Pulse, the classified team, put in a good word for me. I would love to go up to New York Toy Fair for that. Let's see. Did you talk about the mystery render? Do you think it's no? All right. I'm going to say it one more time for Keegan. The mystery render is not Wild Bill. Wild Bill is coming this year as a retro carded figure. He's going to be a lot more brighter, a lot more colorful. He'll have all the same accessories he had with the original. Let me see. I'm going to pull this down. Hold on. All right. Here's your Wild Bill. So based off that render, he's got the parachute pants on this, right? And the one that we've seen revealed has the parachute. It's the same mold. It's just going to be brighter, different deco on it, and the hat's different, and he'll probably come with all the same accessories. But that's going to be your Wild Bill, and he'll come with a black stand instead, and that's what your Wild Bill is going to look like. That figure that we got, it's not Wild Bill. It's a new character. I'm 100% sure. If it's not, if it is, okay, let me just do this. If it turns out to be Wild Bill, then I'll owe you a classified figure, and I will give you a classified figure. Okay, Keegan? A minted box classified figure I'll give you if it turns out to be Wild Bill. But I'm 100% positive it's not Wild Bill. He's going to be in the retro package design, and he will be coming with the next wave probably of retro package figures. So there you go. Sweet. I take Ghost Viper. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it's not Wild Bill. It's a new character. It's Tony and Lenny talk on Adventures in Collecting podcast, where they mentioned there's 2 new characters coming out this year. One's a Cobra, completely brand new character, never been in G.I. Joe ever, and a new Joe, never been in G.I. Joe ever, completely new character. We've been speculating maybe it could be a some sort of a opposite of like Nagahide, or opposite of the Raptor Master, that is a guy that like protects the wildlife, protects the animals. Maybe he's an Australian like type guy, like Quigley Down Under, or what's his name? What's that Australian guy that had the movies in the 80s? Crocodile Dundee, something like that, some character like that, maybe an animal specialist, and he's like protecting the wildlife or something. That's what's we're speculating, but it could be anything. It could be anything. Hasbro said all the team, Lenny, BMAC, Tony, Emily, there's nothing off the table for classified. Nothing. So it could be anybody. I'm thinking it could be Tomb Raider, but that's just me. Outback Jack, possibly. Who knows? I think that render really lends itself to possibly the Tomb Raider weird figure name only that was revealed to me a while ago. And it has like a serape poncho, and she's got the hat with the teeth in it around the edge of it with the teeth, kind of like Nagahide. She's got the boots and the jeans, the tight jeans with the holsters and stuff like that. The only thing is what that thing on her right arm is. That like maybe it's some sort of apparatus, like a dart gun or something. I don't know what that is. And then she's got the pickaxe. She's got the knife with the loop on it, which are things that Tomb Raider would have. And then the face, it could be the hair, because she's got the ponytail all put back like that. The hair comes down. You can kind of see the face and the lower jaw of the face. It kind of looks like her face could be that. And then the arms are all wrapped up around that poncho and stuff like that. So I think it could be Tomb Raider, because she protects, relics, and she protects ancient things, and she makes sure that no one steals them. She's a Tomb Raider, but she puts it where it can be protected and saved. She doesn't take advantage of it. Cobra, la 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 la. You got it. So then we got a couple things that we haven't seen yet. We didn't get anything on the Royal Guard. So I think maybe the Royal Guard might be going up for pre-order sometime this month. And the same thing with the Arctic 3-pack. The Steel Core, Arctic Steel Core, the Arctic Saw Viper, and the Drift Viper. So we didn't get anything on those. So we don't know if those are going to be up on pre-orders this month as well. Uncarded. So those are 2 other items that we could possibly get. And what do you guys think about the Zanya with the Swamp Skier for $59.99 price point? That it's been strongly told to me that it was that item that was at the ports, because Zanya does not have a code name in the leaked listings. According to the Full Force Chris McLeod, there's no leaked listing name for that. So that's why they don't know what that name on that thing that came in the ports was. So do you think that's a fair price for Zanya and the Swamp Skier? Or do you think it's a little too high a price? Because we've gotten Trouble Bubbles for $45.99 or $49.99 before. We've gotten ferrets, we've gotten claws, we've gotten rams, much cheaper than that. So do you think that's that price point, $59.99 with her? Or do you think it's something else? And that was one of the things that I'm kind of disappointed at. I really wanted her to be by herself and not to be with a vehicle, but it is what it is. Wish it was less for army building purposes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Would have rather seen Zanzibar with the swamp skier. Yeah, I think it would have made sense since he had his little skiff. That would have made more sense to put Zanzibar with that, because I don't think Zanzibar is going to come with this skiff. I don't think. I think that's a vehicle and figure they're going to release without a vehicle. That's it, Dave. Mystery figure is Duncan MacLeod. There you go, Duncan MacLeod, the Highlander. I would love that. I love Highlander. I love me some Highlander, and I like Duncan MacLeod. And I met Adrian Paul and Christopher Lambert, both of them. And they're both very unique guys in their own ways. And I'm looking forward to the new Highlander movie with Henry Cavill. I hope they don't ruin it. I hope it's a continuation, and I hope another MacLeod. It'd be cool if he was a different MacLeod, because the animated series MacLeod was one MacLeod. The film MacLeod was another MacLeod. The TV show MacLeod was another MacLeod. So if they make the new big budget movie a different MacLeod and another relative of the clan MacLeod, I think that'd be cool. But who would it be? Who could it be as a MacLeod? Give me some good Scottish names that are not Duncan and all that stuff. Airwolf was an awesome show from the 80s. Yes, it was. They're doing that Airwolf helicopter with that HISS tank from Hot Wheels. They're licensed Hot Wheels toys. There's a HISS tank coming out from that, and there's an Airwolf helicopter. Both of them coming out together. Christopher MacLeod. There you go. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Christopher MacLeod. And then that would make him the perfect G.I. Joe figure, too, because it's Christopher MacLeod from the Full Force. Oh, man. And maybe that's the guy's name. The guy's name is Full Force. The cowboy guy, he's Full Force. That would be really funny. Oh, man. Seamus Haggy MacLeod. Funny, Seamus MacLeod. Connor MacLeod. So we got Connor MacLeod, I think, was the movies. Duncan MacLeod was the TV show. And Colin MacLeod was the animated series. So we got a Connor, a Colin, and a Duncan. So what other cool Scottish names could they use for Highlander? Do you guys want that Highlander to be Connor? Do you want them to redo the Connor story? Or do you want it to be somebody new and a new story in the past? I think it would be cool to have a new character in the past, because then you could maybe have him cross over in a film with Adrian Pauls or Christopher Lambert, because they're time travelers and they can meet each other if they're different versions, because Connor and Duncan met twice. Cillian McMurphy MacLeod. Cillian Murphy. Oh, that's funny. You guys are hilarious. We got off on a Highlander tangents. I love me some Highlander, trust me. So I would love that if it was Highlander. An Old West Highlander, wouldn't that be fun? So I think that's going to cover me for today. Anything else that you guys want to add to any of the stuff that we've been talking about today? It's been fun, though. I'm really excited. I always get excited when we get new stuff to talk about and new characters coming out. I'm very excited about where the Airtight is. I think the Airtight is like a 10 for 10 for me on that figure. Now that we got Airtight, now we're going to be getting Toxo Vipers, Toxo Zombies, Zombie Vipers, all that stuff. Mole-Rat Stage 3, Mole-Rat Stage 4. Airtight is finally the revelation character, and maybe we'll get more Eco Warriors down the line as well. So I'm very, very happy with that Airtight. It's like the perfect figure to me, exactly the way it should look. Whether he should be on the vintage package, I don't know. A lot of people are saying he's too close to retro. He should have been on the retro package. And I kind of agree with you guys on that. But we've gotten very retro versions of characters in the classified main line. Shipwreck is the one that really stands out to me as like 100% retro, but he's in the main line. We've got a lot of other characters that look very similar to their version, retro versions. Dial Tone, Law and Order, Mutton Junkyard, Airtight, Quick Kick, you name it. There's lots of figures that look like they're Alpine, but they didn't get retro cards. They got mainline. Very interesting that they made Zap, because they've been doing a lot of OG-13 in the retro line. They've re-released Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Stalker, Rock and Roll. All were retro card versions that they did, redecos. And so I think you will get all of them in their retro variations in the vintage retro card packaging at some point. So that's why they did Zap that way. It's going to be a mystery if we get that Flash that way or that Grand Slam that way as well. We'll just have to wait and see. That's another one. We didn't get anything on the Flash figure that was accidentally leaked by Entertainment Earth last summer during San Diego Comic-Con. They accidentally leaked that name, and we've yet to get that. So that's a way overdue name that we've not seen anything for. Maybe at New York New York Toy Fair, maybe we will see that. That might be one of the ones we see. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Let's see. You're awesome, Dave. Everyone have a good night. Thanks, Gunpowder. You as well. I appreciate it. All right, so I think that's going to do it for us. So this is another big G.I. Joe figure because it's a retro card. We're going to go with Yo Joe. See you guys next time. Thanks a lot.